Welcome to Mastering Your Monday podcast, and this is the show that talks about boundaries, work-life balance, and living a life where you have control. This is for highly driven professionals who want to develop a more balanced professional and personal life and live out their true values. Those who are ready to grab the reins and change the status quo. The professional who's ready to have a life again and who's ready to take a stand, living in a way that you feel respected, valued, and fulfilled each and every day. We talk about topics like setting boundaries, taking risks, life management, and all the tips, techniques, and strategies to help you master your Monday, one day at a time. So it's been a little over a month now, and I have so much to share with you. But first, let me tell you what's going on. To be honest, I had to take a step back, shut down for a period of time, or my body was going to do it for me. I had been driving hard and fast and was about to come to what I call a screeching halt. So I pulled the plug myself. And that's what this week's episode is all about. I love a great conversation. So pull up a chair, ringside that is, and let's talk the real deal today on episode 22, why it's important to take a step back in order to make progress forward. You can call it a hiatus, a sabbatical, downtime, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. But the main thing is to make time to step back in your life and use it to regroup and refresh. What I'm talking about is more than just that me time or that self-care. This is for repair as well. It isn't the first time that I actually realized that I needed to take this time to repair and regroup. And I'm sure it won't be the last. But one particular instance always reminds me how important it is for me to listen to my mind and my body and take that step back when needed. So let me share it with you. Years ago, when I was in the military, and okay, don't make a joke about how many years, because I'm not telling you. But I was in what they call Tops in Blue. And what Tops in Blue is it's Air Force entertainment. And I traveled for 6 months. It's the same 24, 27 people. And you travel around the world actually entertaining on bases and even in the public, just giving them a great 2-hour show. And it was awesome. But the thing is, when you're in Tops in Blue and when you have to maintain a level of respect for each other, you have to maintain how you carry yourself and how you act off the stage as well as on the stage, because these are the same 27 people that you're living with day in and day out. So no matter your idiosyncrasies or how you feel, you have to temper how you feel, because you're going to see that person all day long and the next day and the next day. So it's just so important that you maintain yourself. And because I had to keep that level of maintenance, that level of not going off, not always saying what I felt, and keeping my sanity, I crashed when I came off. I actually did not want to be around people for a while. I actually did not want to, and I'm a vocalist. I didn't sing. I lost all desire to sing. I did not sing for 2 years. And I don't know if you understand just how impactful or detrimental that is for someone who's a vocalist. And to lose that desire to sing means I had totally crashed. I had lost the energy and the desire to do something that I love. That's what I'm talking about right here. That's what I'm talking about. Before you hit that wall that you're ready to throw in the towel. Oh, I can't even talk today. I'm so excited about this. But before you're ready to throw in the towel and just give up, you want to catch yourself before then. So during this time, this is when I learned why it was so important to start recognizing those signs. So I started putting certain safety valves in place when I started realizing this, and that's when I voluntarily started stepping back. Stepping back is actually a strategy. It's a way for us to find clarity when we're unsure of our direction. And it's to be able to have clarity on where we want to go and what it is we really want to do in life. Stepping back gives us that space needed to unbiasedly analyze the situation at hand, whether it's in our overall lives or a particular season that we find ourselves in at that time, or a particular relationship that we're in, or even in our career or in our business, whatever it is. Sometimes we need to just step back. We want to step back to help us make those decisions that are important and to decide what needs to be done in this particular time in our life. The important thing is for us to approach this time with an open mind and visit the big picture without being bogged down with too many of the details, too many of the what ifs. It's important to take time to step back before you reach the point of burnout. Do I need to say that again? I'll just say that word before again. And that goes back to knowing the signs, being aware of the signs that you're about to hit that brick wall. Things like low energy. Is your energy starting to be low? Is it hard to get the energy or the to do something? It's that unexplainable irritation that you feel, or those high emotions. The simplest thing to can bring on tears or make you excited or make you go off is that low interest. I don't feel like it anymore. That inability to get up in the morning and get inspired about what you're doing. And that feeling of, you know what? I'm done. I just want to quit. I'm tired. I'm done. Don't ignore these signs. But once you find that they're there and that they're not medically induced or medically charged, that is not that you're dealing with depression or deep depression, or that is not that you're tired from something medical, and I'm not a doctor. So make sure you find out that it's not medical first. And then if you find out that it's not medical, start taking the steps to take that much needed time before you crash and burn and take casualties with you. Because let me tell you, you will take casualties with you if you get to that point. The thing is, when we take the time to step back, we're making the space and allowing room for the opportunity to look at our lives or the situation more critically and take a much needed break from that whirlwind of life so that you can come back with a second win. Look, we're doers, and it's so easy for us to get caught up in what we're doing and not being able to step back, thinking that I can't step back because I need to. No, you don't need to. Everything feels urgent and it needs to be addressed, and nobody can handle it like I can or like we can. Yeah, they can. Or at least we like to believe that, right? But I always say, what if I wasn't here tomorrow? the world would still move. It would still move. A friend and mentor of mine once shared with me a pretty graphic illustration of this. He asked me to put my hand in a bowl of water and asked me, "So what's happening?" And I said, it made space. It made room for me. And it allowed my hand to be a part of it. But then he said, pull your hand out. What happens? And I said, well, it filled back up as if I'd never been there. And that's what I'm saying. The world will go on. It'll close right back up. It'll keep functioning as it did before. That's life. We fit. We have a purpose. We have a definite purpose while we're here. But when we're gone, life keeps moving on. So take time to step back and evaluate our life, our current situation, whatever the case. It will help us make better decisions and have more motivation, and it will allow us to take breaks when necessary instead of waiting until the possibility of irreversible damage before it actually happens, that irreversible damage, or that it's right around the corner. Taking a break is important because everyone needs it, and it allows us to take time away so that when we do come back, we come back fresh, with fresh eyes and renewed energy. So let me start with a first line of defense that I found is so effective in taking a step back. My all favorite time word, boundaries. One of the biggest factors for me this time and having to take downtime and step back this summer was that high energy of constantly performing and posting I found myself doing for almost a full year. I had been constantly creating content for 3 different mediums, for my podcast, for my videos, and then I was posting daily, plus being active and interactive with others just as consistently, replying to their posts, talking to others, replying to comments. And it was so hard to maintain at that level of performance for a long time without a break. And I didn't take a break. Now, I'm not complaining because that's my personality. I was driven, but it wasn't healthy. First of all, let me clear up a misconception that online and offline are separate entities, because in a way, yes, they are, but they're also intertwined in our life. And so what happens in one realm impacts the other realm. And when it comes to setting boundaries, well, that's crucial to our sanity. It's important to not only have boundaries offline, but to be aware of our digital footprint and to have clear boundaries online as well. It's about being intentional and setting limits. It's about helping others maintain our degree of privacy to better enforce that time that we need to get away. It's important to also set our online boundaries based on what we're comfortable with in order to create that balance between both our digital and our physical lives. And although I say it's not all about me, that me time and that self-care, they are still an integral component to our stepping back. And part of stepping back is also understanding how important it is to take time for ourselves so that we can recharge and be productive effective, and efficient. So, first of all, remember, I always like to share with you things that I feel will help you when you walk away from this podcast. So, let me share with you 5 ways to make sure you take enough me time. No matter how often you think about taking a break, it's still possible to get burned out. And although there are so many reasons to do this, one of the most common cause is underestimating our need for personal time. It's crucial. Let me say that it's critical to set aside time each day where you can just focus on yourself and what makes you happy. And when I say makes you happy, I mean what gives you life. So here are 5 things I encourage you to do. First, make a list of things that make you happy. You know, the things that light you up, that excite you. And this is a working list. It's a living list. It's not a one-time list, because we find out as we go along that I don't like that as much anymore, or I'd rather do more of this. So make that list. And then second, start prioritizing the items on that list. What things really light you up? What do you want to do first? And what things, they're great, I like them, but I can love them or leave them. And then create a plan on how and when to start doing these things throughout your week, throughout a month, throughout a year. But make them a practice that you start incorporating into your life. And fourth, start seeking out those friends who support you in what you're doing, lift you up, encourage you during these times, and help you fulfill those needs and do those things, and keep you on track when you take that downtime and say, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. Why are you online? Why are you calling me? Those type of friends. And then fifth, don't let negative feelings get the better of you. Your mind, control your mind. Don't let them steal your newfound joy. Don't fall into that trap. No. Get rid of those negative feelings. Turn them around if you can. And I encourage you, and we'll talk more on this, on ways to turn that negativism around. You know, sometimes that initial step back isn't enough. And you have to pull out the big guns. For instance, have you ever felt yourself fall into what I call a creative rut? You know, it often happens if we find ourselves feeling overwhelmed by work or family issues, or even just plain old lacking inspiration or desire. And that's exactly where I was this last month. I was so tapped out. Listen, the most effective way to get back out of this rut is to take this step back and reassess the situation by asking yourself, what do I want? Remember, I said that earlier. Ask yourself, what do I really want? And this one question will help you focus on what needs to be done in order for you to get back on track. So I want to share with you again, I can't let you walk away with nothing. So I want to share with you some of the first steps that I took, and what I share with my clients also when they find they've hit this point and need to step back. So one of the very first steps is to recognize Oh, baby, you better recognize where you are that you feel that need to take a step back. And then turn off the phone, disconnect from social media, and for a period, try not to allow any distractions. It's hard. And you're going to think of everything that needs to be done at first. But release it and let it go. Don't fall into that trap. And then when the break is done, that quiet time that you need to take up front, it's time to start thinking about your goals, your upcoming projects, and what specifically needs to be done in order for that to happen. Let your creativity have free reign. Nothing is impossible. And let it go. And then it also may be helpful at this point to identify any roadblocks, anything that stopped you in the past and that may stop you going forward. So with that, then you know what to do to keep you going and doing your thing. Look, I am so glad, and I'm back that you were able to hang out with me today for our ringside chat. You are simply amazing. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe or follow so that you don't miss a single episode. One more thing I want you to do, and that's visit Mastering Your Monday Pathway. I spruced it up a little bit and had fun doing because I had a little creativity. And that's where you'll find all types of things that I have going on just for you. Oh, and I almost forgot. Are you ready to find the space and drop the weight of constantly being on? Keep an ear out because in September, I will be kicking off a powerful challenge to help you put in place some powerful ways to reclaim back your time, to claim your time and parts of your life back. I am so excited about it because I have an amazing tool that I'll be sharing to help you even after the challenge. I'll let you know when enrollment goes live because you don't want to miss it. And don't forget, if you want to stay in the know on what I'm going or what I'm up to, just visit masteringyourmonday.com/pathway. And listen, remember, I never want you to forget that above all, master every day like it's your Monday. And let me know how I can serve you further. Take care. Until next episode. Bye-bye. I want to thank you for listening to the Mastering Your Monday podcast. I hope you learned at least one tip or technique you can walk away with and implement today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show and let us know how much you enjoyed it and what you learned from this episode. We honor your time and your commitment to Mastering Your Monday podcast. And as always, we want to remind you, you are cherished, respected, valued, and in control. See you on the next episode.